California politicians just passed a law that basically makes a school board irrelevant when it comes to reviewing curriculum being put before children in the classroom. We'll tell you what Assembly Bill 1078 does and how we're leading the fight to stop it. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, and California's liberal legislators are on the warpath, attacking parents for their concerns, well-founded concerns over controversial curriculum being put into the classroom. Now, the latest effort is to strip school boards of any authority to block controversial curriculum that parents don't want presented to their kids. It's called Assembly Bill 1078, and it's sponsored by Assemblymember Corey Jackson. Now, Corey Jackson's bill basically says that we're not going to allow school boards the discretion to stop controversial curriculum from being presented to children in the classroom. Now, it doesn't outright ban school boards' ability to do that because that would be challenged very quickly in court. Although the way in which Assembly Bill 1078 is structured, I still believe it won't survive a legal challenge, but more on that later. Under Assembly Bill 1078, school boards would have to get approval from the California State Board of Education, in other words, Sacramento politicians, before removing any materials or books from classrooms and school libraries, or modifying any curriculum elements. The bill is structured in such a way as to say, well, we still are allowing local control, but that is quite deceptive because first and foremost, it requires that the school board receive a supermajority vote to reject curriculum. This is substantial because this provision alone flies in the face of the state constitution. The state constitution basically sets up a system where governing boards are allowed to do things with a simple majority vote. There are certain exclusions to that, and that would be contained in the state constitution, where the state constitution says, well, you have to get a supermajority to do certain things. Tax increases, for example, voters have put a supermajority vote in, a two-thirds vote, for certain types of tax increases by a governing board. But here, it's the state legislature just simply saying, oh, we need a supermajority to make a very basic decision, which is what type of curriculum should we put in the classroom? So I think that'll be the first legal challenge that can be brought against 1078 is trying to create this supermajority threshold, which is in many cases hard or if not impossible to meet. Secondly, it requires that the names of school board members who are trying to stop curriculum, that those names be made public and be promoted by state bureaucracies. This is going to have a chilling effect. It's an intimidation move by state politicians to try to bully school board members out of listening to parents' concerns and trying to get rid of this controversial curriculum. Now, let me just say, in this debate, the media has been downright shameful in its poor coverage of what's really going on school curriculum. What's happening is that parents are not motivated by hate. They're not anti-LGBT. They're not prudes. They're not saying we can't, do sex ed topics. They're not racist. They're not saying don't talk about slavery or the Civil War. But what parents are reacting to is the extreme curriculum that California's liberal politicians and various extreme third-party interest groups are trying to advance in the classroom. They've tried to change it from teaching our kids about appropriate topics to advancing political agendas, plain and simple, downright political agendas happening in the classroom. For example, the media refuses to actually delve into what critical race theory is and provide examples of where critical race theory teachings and instructional materials classify people based on skin color and say that whites inherently have privilege and anyone else is inherently a victim. They don't look at the parts of the curriculum or report on the parts of the curriculum that actually cite political groups, advocacy groups that kids should join and participate in, like Black Lives Matter and other fringe far-left organizations. I can guarantee you that if a Republican school board, a conservative school board said, hey, let's promote NRA membership in the classroom, I guarantee you that a lot of parents would be upset about that, and people in the media would be screaming and yelling and lighting their hair on fire, saying it's a political agenda. And they would be right. We shouldn't have politics of any form, left or right, in the classroom. Let's talk about the sex ed curriculum. The sex ed curriculum is not about the basics. It's about very raunchy, very explicit actions. It also promotes very controversial behavior at a young age. And so parents are simply saying they don't want inappropriate material presented to younger children. And sex ed curriculum is part of that issue of gender change, gender identity, and the like. Some of these books are downright pornographic. And that's why in these stories, the media never references specific examples or even talks about specific book titles. If they did, they know that their readers or their listeners or their viewers would actually go and do their own due diligence and look at the materials for themselves and find, wow, this stuff is pretty pornographic. We actually have at reformcalifornia.org, we posted some of the images from these books, some of the content talking about self-pleasuring acts and creating online profiles on adult dating sites and taking nude photos and sharing them with folks, strangers. And this is just completely inappropriate content in the classroom, sanctioned by government. And that's what parents are concerned about. And then finally, the curriculum really delves into topics that many parents find best addressed at home. And so the question becomes, if a parent would like to opt a child out, they should have a right to do that. Now, school boards are supposed to be the ones that say what is appropriate for our community. And they do that based upon state law. They do that based upon parental input. And they've got to be accountable to voters. They get elected by the voters. And so that is the best place to have these discussions. Certain school districts, certain communities might say, yeah, we're a bit more open and a bit more aggressive. That's up to the school to decide, the school district to decide. And those people have to stand for election. But the idea of having these decisions made in Sacramento by Sacramento politicians, it breaks the very concept of local decision-making and governance. So Assembly Bill 1078. What is also galling about this bill is that the bill author, liberal Democrat Corey Jackson, has decided to basically say that the bill is needed because all the people raising concerns about curriculum are not concerned parents, but they are white nationalists. That's right. That's exactly what he has shamefully smeared parents and used to describe parents. He says, quote, "It's disheartening to witness the rise of white Christian nationalist extremism, which seeks to erase the invaluable contributions and narratives of marginalized communities." Look, this guy is a bully and a bigot. He's trying to bully school board members and parents into silence, taking their power and authority and input away through Assembly Bill 1078. And he's labeling them Christian white nationalists. Have you no shame, Corey Jackson? Well, what we know is that he doesn't have any shame, because where is he getting a lot of his money? He's getting a lot of money from LGBT organizations and this group called the Association of California School Administrators, ACSA. They have a PAC. They've been funneling a lot of campaign contributions to Corey Jackson's assembly campaign. ACSA PAC also gave $35,000 to the LGBT Caucus Leadership Fund, which is also one of Jackson's top campaign contributors. And of course, Equality California PAC, which is a gay Democrat election committee. gave $305,000 to that same LGBT Caucus Leadership Fund, which provides funding to Corey Jackson. These people are about advancing political agendas and getting campaign contributions from fringe left-wing groups with agendas that don't match what most parents would like to see in the classroom. How can we fight Assembly Bill 1078? Well, first and foremost, we do expect that there will be a legal challenge to the bill. And secondly, we do need to punish the legislators that voted for this bill. So I urge you to go online to our website, supportcaparents.org. That's supportcaparents.org. Share the stories that we have on that site. It opens up people's eyes to the real extremist curriculum that's being put in the classroom, as well as extremist politicians like Assemblymember Corey Jackson and Assembly Bill 1078. We're also trying to elect better school board members so that we can have better representation at the local level. We recruit, support, endorse, train these candidates running for school board who are up against a political machine of the left in California. Go to supportcaparents.org, supportcaparents.org to learn more and to get involved in our fight. Thanks for watching. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.